From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.
Hello and welcome to Stumped, your intercontinental hit of news, features and debate from the quirky world of cricket. I'm Alison Mitchell in London, where there is a flurry of activity around announcements in England men's cricket, a new captain for the Test side, which we'll talk about in a moment, and non-appointment as well, where the search for a new ECB chair has rather stalled. And now the person who was in charge of finding a chair looks like he's going to apply himself to do the role. So that's going to take a little bit more time and is rather curious to get your head around it. But I had a lovely afternoon at Lord's the other day for the annual meeting of the Cricket Writers Club. And lots of work the organisation's doing to support those looking to make their way into cricket journalism and broaden that field as well. So it's a really lovely day to catch up with friends in cricket as well.
Ali, Brett Sprigg here at the ABC in Sydney, where Aussie cricket fans are beginning to get an idea of what our next summer will look like. It sounds like Perth will launch the Test summer against the apparently resurgent West Indies, and then South Africa will visit for the first time since the Cape Town sandpaper saga. So there is already plenty to be excited about for cricket fans down under.
Well, hi, Brett. Welcome to the show, Brett. This is Charu Sharma for All India Radio, once again in Bangalore. I've had to run away from the Khelo India, which is Play India. It's a government initiative. University Games happening for the second time around. So it's a 20-sport, 4,500 athlete, big extravaganza happening here in Bangalore, luckily. So I said, yeah, sure, we'll do some sports. Finished with basketball, doing hockey today, and then there's going to be some athletics as well. I'm quite enjoying this multi-sport sort of, extravaganza thing once again. Of course, the IPL race is on, so a whole lot of heroes, a couple of zeros as well there.
There are hopefully more heroes than zeros, though. Good to see you, Charu and Brett. Yeah, welcome along to the show once again. Good to have you. First up on Stump, then, the news that Ben Stokes has been announced as England's new Test captain. Now, he replaces Joe Root, who resigned early this month, ending his 5-year tenure. Now, Stokes has formerly been vice-captain. He's captained the Test team before just once in a 4-wicket defeat to the West Indies in Southampton 2 years ago. He is a talismanic cricketer, of that there is absolutely no doubt, and it's been quite an extraordinary journey for Ben Stokes. His first appearance as the permanent England Test captain will come against the country of his birth, no less, New Zealand, and that is a 3-test series starting at Lord's at the beginning of June, so not too long away. Brett, is he for you the right man? I mean, possibly the only man for the job when you look at that England Test lineup.
Yeah, he's the obvious choice because he's one of very few England players capable of keeping their place in this team. If one thing was apparent out of the Ashes, and again more recently in the Caribbean, is there anyone who's going to be first picked in this England side that you could select to keep their place, let alone lead this team? I understand there will be concerns about the extra responsibility, and I guess Rob Key would rightfully tread carefully since previous all-rounders, namely Ian Botham and Andrew Flintoff, didn't enjoy a great deal of success as Test captains, not to mention that Ben Stokes himself was already had to take breaks from the game previously. But I think the way cricket has evolved, you perhaps aren't so reliant on a captain, and you may have a few of those senior players around him. Johnny Bairstow is one, Joe Root is another, not to mention James Anderson and Stuart Broad, who Ben Stokes would advocate for their return so that he can seek their counsel and perhaps won't absorb so much of that burden himself, but he is the right choice.
So when you look at all-rounders, Charu, I mean, look no further than Pat Cummins, who seems to have stepped seamlessly into that role as Test captain for the Aussies.
I've got to say this first, though. Brett, you're a man after my own heart. After years, many months, I've had somebody else acknowledge the fact that captaincy is not what it used to be in 1875. The whole team comes around, everybody's a hard-boiled professional. And the captain, you can wear a blazer guard and toss in something, but otherwise it's very collective. The whole democracy thing in cricket is much more now than ever before. So thank you, Brett. Oh, gosh, what a relief to find somebody else think the same way. But I also think that you're talking about somebody who is a genius. If you give him the burden of captaincy, you're reducing the genius quotient of somebody who, if left alone, can perform 100%. You start giving most of the responsibilities and duties, and already we know, I think we've talked about this before on Stumped, that he is a bit of a reluctant leader. He's gone through all sorts of situations mentally and otherwise. He asked for time out. Now you're bringing him back and loading him double. So this might be the Tina factor, as we call it in Indian politics. There is no alternative. So maybe the Tina factor is working here. But, for a short term, till somebody else can fill up the slot, why not one of the bowlers? Because I'm not very fond of the faster bowlers becoming, captains. Pat Cummins, of course, has proved me wrong. He's done fairly well. except for the fact that Brett, he's not alone as a captain. There are plenty of other people supporting him once again. But if England needs another alternative to Stokes, and it's a very short-term kind of thing, it's okay. But no, not in the long run. He needs to be left alone, left on a long leash. Let his genius work for him and for England.
I think England are hoping that he'll be in the job for a little while, at least. I suppose there's a little bit of a concern fitness-wise about, his knee, which has apparently still been giving him a bit of pain, in the lead-up to his first appearances for Durham in the English domestic season. But you could argue that, everything that he has been through, when you consider that he was left out of the 2017-18 Ashes, he was waiting court for a trial and he was ultimately acquitted. He had to deal with the death of his father. He's had to deal with injuries, had to take a mental health break from the game. So all of that experience, if you can consider how that can help, when he's in a leadership, others are going through struggles in the team, he does command an enormous amount of respect, both sort of within the dressing room and by cricket fans and opponents for those incredible feats he can do with the bat. When you consider the fastest double 100 by an Englishman, the incredible turnaround in that Headingley Test match in the Ashes, and his feats in the World Cup, of course. So he's an extraordinary cricketer and somebody who players just naturally want to lead. I wonder, Charu, when it comes to this sense of bringing Anderson and Broad, back into the England side, does that sort of strengthen your sense of, Stokes will have some backup, some other senior heads in the team? Because England, for me, it was an extraordinary decision that they dropped them for the West Indies tour.
Yeah, true. England's gone through this crazy phase of selecting, different people for different test matches and not going in with the best team as the first test match, as we've seen in the last few years. And that's really hurt them in terms of their test match record. But otherwise, it's not a bad team. And I think there's just too much fixing going on. It's not that broke. But you are right. It's nice to have some senior friends of his alongside. And you're also very right about the fact that he's a natural... Well, I hesitate to say the word leader, but, because of his performances, he is that talismanic cricketer that people love to follow, love to be around, love to share the success with. So I just don't think he should be officially given this captaincy title, but it'll be nice for him to have old mates around. Although, even the youngsters these days are so hard-boiled. I mean, they're so tough when they get into the national side. They play a lot of cricket. So it's not that you're dealing with, school children or some really relatively inexperienced people. Just about everybody has enough knowledge of the game to perhaps even lead. But for Stokes particularly, the way his mental situation is structured at this point of time, it's only conjecture on my part. He needs good friends around him, and Anderson and Broad for sure need to be around him when he leads in the first test 2 or 3.
An exciting era, but it's going to be a challenging one given the way the test team have been batting of late. Hope that Stokes can be the man to be the leader and turn things around. Now, here's some names for you. Deandra Dottin, Marizanne Kapp and Mignon du Preez are just some of the biggest names starring in a brand new women's cricket tournament that starts in Dubai this week. The Fair Break Invitational is a T20 event featuring players from as many as 35 different countries, including Brazil, Vanuatu and Germany. And we have spoken about some of these countries and their cricketing exploits on Stumped in the past. Now, in a moment, we're going to hear from the vice-captain of Bhutan, who is set to take part. But first, here's the tournament organiser, Sean Martin, telling Stumped how the event was established.
There's never been a cricket tournament like it. There's never been 36 countries involved in one. I don't think any, to the best of my knowledge, any sporting event, a team sporting event outside of an Olympic Games. So it's quite interesting. Over the years, we've identified and unearthed a lot of talent in associate nations that you don't get to see because there's not the opportunity for them to play. So when you marry that talent with what I would say the better known international players, then it's quite a powerful mix of talent.
Well, that was Sean Martin, the founder of Fair Break Global. Well, as I mentioned, one of the players set to benefit is the vice-captain of the Bhutan cricket team, Anju Gurung. And I'm delighted that Anju joins us now from a training base in Thailand. Anju, welcome to Stumped. I mean, this invitational sounds like a unique and very exciting opportunity for you.
Yes, it is. For me, this game is I'm quite excited and nervous too, because it's first time I'm playing in this like kind of tournament.
Tell us about you and your cricket experience. How did you get involved in the sport in Bhutan?
When I was in grade 5 in my school, this game was announced, like which I have never heard and seen, like because during that time, like we don't know much game about this because this game is not played in Bhutan, like but other countries they played, but in Bhutan. So like this game was new in Bhutan, so like I was excited and I signed up there. And in 2007, from Bhutan cricket board, they have like announced that in our place, like my area is like my hometown is like in southern area. So like they said the boat like immediately put the coaches in like where I stay, my hometown. So I start training there, and they had a camp for like they said that there will be like international tour and there will selection camp. So I joined there, and from there like I get in national team. So which was like very great and exciting moment for me to get in that international team.
Anju, hello, this is Charu Sharma from Bangalore, India. Congratulations on being the vice captain of the Bhutan team. You've been playing for quite a while now. You mentioned that 2007 it all started in your area. Has it become a lot more popular? Are many more people now, girls and boys, playing cricket in Bhutan?
I would say currently now I would say like in Bhutan like cricket is like a fast growing game in Bhutan currently, like because of like in 2018 like when they did survey, so like there was like 13,500 cricket. So like now it's almost 50,000 cricket in Bhutan. So like it's I would say like good news for Bhutan.
Andrew, I'm curious to know your involvement in Fairbreak, the opportunity to participate in Fairbreak. How did that come about?
Well, that's our cricket board like applied in Fairbreaks, and so that our Bhutanese also get a chance to play in there. So like they send like top 5 girls videos, clips, and all like when they were doing training. So from there, I got selected.
Well, Andrew, it's been a real pleasure speaking to you, and can't wait to see how you go with the Fairbreak Invitational. Good luck with it all, and thanks for being with us on Stumped.
Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, on Stumped, what do you think you'll be doing when you reach 86 years of age? You might already be 86. You might be listening to us on Stumped, which I do hope you are. You also might be thinking of slowing down a little bit, spending a little bit of time with your feet up maybe. But for Britain's oldest cricket umpire, Keith Dibb, that has never been an option. This cricket mad grandad has just started his 71st season in a career that has seen him take charge of over 1,000 matches. And we're delighted to be joined by Keith. Keith, great to see you. You've got your whites on as well, your umpire's coat for those people watching on YouTube as well. How are you?
I'm not one that needs any privileges, you know. All I need to do is get on with my job, and I don't expect anybody to sort of speak up for me. But since I've got to this age, everybody seems to be wanting to talk to me.
Well, you are Britain's oldest umpire. I mean, the first thing I've got to ask is, why are you still doing it at this age when you could just be kicking back and relaxing, enjoying watching the cricket from the stands?
No, I like to be involved. I've had the privilege of umpiring at Headingley for the famous Dickie Bird umpire with his foundation. So, I've been around a bit, and I'm always ready to help people out if they're stuck. So I always carry my coat with me on holiday in case somebody needs me. So it's just a way of life, isn't it, really?
Well, you've mentioned the great Dickie Bird. Of course, you're speaking to us from your home in Yorkshire in the north of England. Tell us just briefly then, when did you first start officiating cricket matches?
1947. And to prove it, I've got a picture here of 1947.
Oh, my
at the
word.
back.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
Keith's
me
holding
with
up
the
a photo
school
if you're
cap
watching
on.
on YouTube.
I know that you umpire plenty in your hometown, but you mentioned the travelling. You've taken charge of matches right around the world. Is that right?
Well, I went on holiday to see my daughter when she used to work in New Zealand, and I got called up because they were short of an umpire in the Wellington League. So I ended up doing 4 weekends for them. But it didn't matter. I enjoyed it. And I like the company as well, you see, and the banter. The highlight was I went to Barbados on holiday, and I got called up to help out Warwickshire County Cricket Club. And the first match was against Barbados, and Gordon Greenwich came out and shook hands with me. And
Wow.
he said, I've won the toss, I'm going to bat. And he got 103 in 40 minutes and came down the wicket, took his gloves off and shook hands with me. He says, I'm going out umpire. Thank you very much. So I really enjoyed that.
Keith, what has cricket, meant to you over the years? You're 86. It sounds like it is, it remains a central part of your life. Can you sum up what the game has given to you?
Well, I mean, the main thing is that we've had a year out with this virus, which has been terrible for everybody all over the world. And the thing I missed when we couldn't meet up was the comradeship and the banter. I love the banter. And we've been 6'4.5". A lot of people think I'm an ex-police officer, which is rather nice. So I get a bit of respect as well. So it's been... Well, when I got married to my wife, I said, will you... I'm marrying you. I play cricket, and on a Saturday and go and see your mother and your friends, and then we'll meet back for a meal or we'll go to the pictures, and that's it. And she agreed to do it. So 59 years of marriage I had with her before I lost her to the coronavirus. So I've had 2 marriages. I've had a marriage with my wife Margaret, and I've a marriage to cricket.
Keith, keep doing the good work on the field. We look forward to perhaps catching up with you on your 90th birthday and see how you're going then. Let's hope that you're still standing in the middle.
Thank you very much.
Well, that is all we've got time for on Stumped here on All India Radio. Don't forget that you can follow us on Twitter. We're at BBCWS Sport and use the hashtag BBC Stumped. And you can watch us on YouTube as well. Find the BBC World Service's YouTube channel. My thanks to Chari Sharma and to Brett Sprigg, and to you for listening and watching. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
From the BBC World Service, in association with ABC and All India Radio, this is Stumped.